Hello and welcome to Heavymetalwrx. My name is Awais, and today, finally, as you can see, I am installing aftermarket taillights. I went with JDMuscle's Doragon taillights because out of all the ones that I've seen so far in like the last year and a half, I believe, in my opinion, are the only ones that I would replace the OEM taillights with. And there's a reason for that, is because I'm a huge fan of the lava magma look on the OEM taillights, and these ones do actually have a little bit of that going on, so I don't lose it. And that was kind of another reason why I went with it. Now, I did go with the tinted versions. A lot of times I've seen white VBs with the tinted overlay, and I have gotten really, I really like it a lot. So instead of going with clear, I decided to go with this. I think it looks really cool. Installation of these is very easy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spend most of my time actually showing you the differences between the OEM taillights and the Doragon ones, and obviously they're going to be doing all kinds of different things with the sequential and whatnot. Also, I do have diode dynamics turn as a taillight, so when I put the second taillight in, I'm actually going to leave the module in there on one side, so I can see the difference to decide for some of the guys who actually have the tail as a turn light signal as well. In the back, as you can see, if you have been around the channel for any amount of time, this is Shoppy, the shop light. And now that I'm doing a lot of installations at night, I do need a little bit more light. I've actually been thinking about replacing these bulbs with some tube lights or something, because I need a lot more light in here in the garage. So Shoppy's is going to help me out with some light stuff. So I'm going to get you guys set up to where we can go to the installation, and then we're going to look at how these function afterwards. Now, installation of this taillight, super duper easy. You've got this plastic panel here. There's actually a circular pop clip here, so all you need is a Phillips to unscrew that like so. You can actually pull that out with your finger. Now this is where, don't get scared, this plastic panel right here can actually be popped up. You'll hear a couple of clips. You don't need to be, don't be scared. It's gonna feel like it's gonna break, but it's actually not gonna break. Then all you have is two 10 millimeters, one up here, one down there. Make sure we got the right on. One there, and that's it. Your tail light can now be pulled out. Now, something you want to be careful of, over here, there's a tiny little bracket that a clip goes into. So when you pull these out, you'll hear it actually go pop. You want to make sure that clip is still in there. And this is actually what pulls out. Now, on the back of mine, you may be able to see, this is actually the tail is a turn light signal for the adapter for the diode dynamics thing. So I'm actually going to, on this side, I'm going to take it out. So you got one clip here. These clips are like, oh my goodness. You're gonna see me struggle with this. These are like the worst clips. Whoever made car clips, I have a lot of things to say about them. Oh goodness. This is always like the hardest part of taking these things off, is these clips. Wow, okay. There we go. All right, and then that's that. It is out. Installation is pretty much reversed. Now, something I do want to point out, that if you don't like the startup animation, there's actually a plug right here that if you unhook this, like that, you don't have to worry about the startup animation. If you don't like it, I actually kind of like it, so I'm going to leave it on. So I'm going to leave this plugged in. And it's really as simple. Make sure I even got the right, oh, it's like this. So it's as simple as plugging this up. Bro, what in the world? There we go, that's plugged. Popping on one side, and that's it. It's done. It's literally that easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the 10 millimeters back in there, and then I'm going to set the camera up so you guys can actually see the difference between the two. I'm not going to put the second one on just yet, and actually I'm not going to put the plastic on yet either, to make sure it actually does work, because I know myself, even though this is like 2-minute installation, I am liable to mess it up. So I'm gonna say, I love them. I actually really like them. I'm glad I went with the tinted version because it kind of like flows with the bar. And this is what it looks like when you unlock it. Oh, well, this is like the lock. You just see like that light, and then the unlock also plays the full startup animation like they've mentioned. I think it looks awesome. Now, one thing that I will say you noticed in the reverse light, obviously the OEM has a incredibly bright diode dynamics LED in the reverse, and the fact that the reverse light is just this one small thing is a little concerning because it's kind of a small light. Obviously both will have them. I'm gonna look into seeing if I can take that LED and put it in here. I don't know if it's possible, but something I'm gonna look into. Everything else looks fantastic. Obviously, as you saw on the right-hand side, the OEM does have like the turn as a taillight from the diode dynamics. I'm gonna leave that in there and see how that works with the Doragon headlights or the Doragon taillights. I'm gonna put the other one in real quick and we'll see what the difference is. So here is what I was talking about, that there's that little bracket that's on the side of the car, or on the car. It's this bracket. It actually came with the taillight. So I'm just gonna, oh, well, I guess it just fell right off. This is the bracket. This pops on here, so you need to just put this back on the car. And if you don't know where it goes, it actually goes in this area right here. I don't know exactly, I guess it goes like that, maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe like that? I think like that. And then the taillight has a little plug that goes in there. I think this one's actually broken, which is why it ended up coming out with the taillight. Okay, this test is actually no tail as a turn light on here from the diode dynamics thing, and on this side, it does have the tail as a turn light. So I look forward to seeing what this looks like myself, actually. Very interesting. As you can see on this side, it's yellow, or it's got like the amber turn, what you would consider the sequential turn. And here is just like the regular turn. Now, normally what would happen is the entire length of the light would be the turn signal. If it was OEM, in this case, it's actually just doing that magma. And dude, I am not gonna lie, I honestly really like this, because here, let me take you guys a little bit closer and show you what I'm talking about. So you remember the OEM has like the little magma look, and here, as you can see that, it's got that little magma look inside, and I really, really like this. Whereas this one, it does have the magma, but the only time it turns on is when the brake is on. And I guess the one nice thing about the amber is that's kind of like the color that everybody expects a turn signal to be. But I have so many turn signals on the car, I don't know if I need that many. This is kind of why I did that. So you guys are gonna have to tell me in the comments below, which one do you like better? Do you like it where it's red like that? Or do you like it with the amber? Dude, I don't know. I kind of like that. So, oh man, this is it. This is a good one. So obviously I'm gonna keep the tail light. I'm gonna keep the diode dynamic stuff with me in case I decide to swap it. That is pretty damn cool. But I think now that everything is on, let's talk about fitment. I know when it comes to aftermarket taillights and headlights, this is a thing that people tend to look at. Now, off the bat, one thing I've noticed is right here, you can see there's a little bit more space. Now, this is actually the reflection of the car, but let me see if I could show you. See, there's a little bit of space here on this side, but not enough to where it's an issue. I mean, it's actually just right here. Everything is clipped up the way that it's supposed to. And I'll show you what it looks like on the other side. It is, again, this is the reflection. That's a reflection of the car, so don't believe that. It's this part right here. You can see, it's hard to focus on it. It's there, but it's pretty minuscule. But if you just look at the taillights, I mean, there's no issues here. Everything down here is fine. There's no extra spaces here. And on this side as well, if you look, there's no like wonky extra, let me focus. There's no like extra space. There's no extra space down below. It's all pretty seamless. So it fits. To me, that's totally okay. I remember on my VA, when I bought like $700 headlights, it had some issues, like slight issues, but I was willing to ignore it because everything else was okay. So I think this seems completely fine. All right, I gotta say, these are actually pretty damn badass. I wasn't 100% sure, but I knew out of all the ones I've seen, this is the one I wanted to get, and now actually seeing it on the car, I love them. I can't wait to get the headlights to go along with this. So a big thank you to JDMuscle for actually sending me these taillights out. If you are looking to pick up one of these, I actually do have a referral link down below that'll save you a few bucks and it'll help me out. So if you're looking for a set of taillights and you're not really sure which ones to go, I'll link both my previous video down below of all the other taillights, and of course you got this one. So hopefully you guys found this video informative, hopefully it was enjoyable, and I'll see you guys in the next one.